Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, welcome to Tech It Out, episode 288, if you're keeping track. Thank you for tuning into this radio show and podcast that has one simple mission. Well, two, actually. One is to break down geek speak into street speak. The second is to show you how technology can enhance and enrich your life, both personally and professionally. Hey, if you have any feedback for me, I'll plug my social media handles in a moment and how to spell my name. If you want to jot this down on your phone or with pen and paper, would love to hear from you. Don't consider Tech It Out a one-way spiel, if you will. Let's interact online. Tell me what tech questions you've got, if you have suggestions for upcoming guests or topics you'd like me to tackle, and so on. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. And it's Mark Saltzman, MarkSaltzman. So it's Mark with a C, Saltzman with a Z. And again, I love hearing from Tech It Out listeners on social media. All right, we have a great Tech It Out for you today with some awesome guests lined up. We're going to kick things off with staying protected over spring break from a cybersecurity perspective, that is. I guess a different kind of protection that you want to caution your teenage kids about over spring break. We've got Verizon's Ashley Colette waiting in the wings. We're going to talk about protecting your phone and perhaps more importantly, the data that resides on it. After that, you no doubt have heard about ChatGPT, the artificial intelligence program that everyone seems to be buzzing about, but it may be more artificial than intelligent. There are many reports of inaccuracy issues, and so we're going to chat with JustAnswer.com about its JustAnswer ChatGPT Verifier. It's a new tool that you can take advantage of. Finally, a high-tech solution to wildfire warnings is in the works for 2024, so you're going to hear about it first here on Tech It Out. Torch will join us to talk about its torch sensors that you place outside around your property that will warn you about a looming natural disaster. Super interesting. All of this and more on an all-new Tech It Out, powered by ASUS for those in search of incredible. I'll tell you more about ASUS shortly, but let's officially kick off this week's Tech It Out with our first interview. Consider it an inexpensive insurance policy for that one device you always have with you. Verizon Mobile Protect provides coverage for smartphone loss, theft, damage, and post-warranty issues that you may have because, hey, stuff happens. And these phones aren't cheap. Am I right? Well, with spring break season upon us, you may also be traveling with your device. And so Verizon is offering something special to its 150 million plus customers. Well, joining us on the line is a friend to the show, Ashley Colette, communications manager at Verizon, to tell us all about it. Welcome back to the show, Ashley. Good to chat with you.
Thanks for having me back, Mark. I appreciate it.
Before we talk about Verizon Mobile Protect, if our listeners are on another carrier's network, why should someone consider switching to Verizon?
There are a lot of reasons why anyone might want to switch. Is it dropped calls, customer service? Do you just want that device upgrade or to save on your wireless bill? And I think it's a big misnomer that Verizon is expensive. Right now, we're more affordable than ever. We have a new Welcome Unlimited plan. It's $25 per line for 4 lines. Plus, we give customers a ton of value in their plans with the included perks like Hulu, Disney. We also offer 5G home internet, which people might not be aware of. The amazing part about that is if you bundle it with your calling plan, you can get 5G home internet for $25. So there's a ton of benefits to switching to Verizon. I would recommend everyone check out our deals page.
So that's at verizon.com/deals. Now let's chat, Ashley, about Verizon Mobile Protect. What is it? And what's your spring 2023 open enrollment campaign all about?
Verizon Mobile Protect is insurance for your device. So think renter's insurance, homeowner's insurance. Hopefully you don't have to use it, but when you do, you're extremely glad that you have it. So Verizon Mobile Protect protects your phone from accidental damage, cracked screens, water damage even, post-warranty repairs like battery replacement. But it also does more than that. It comes with our premium digital security, which covers you from online threats. So our premium call filter app and digital secure service do things such as ID theft monitoring, secure Wi-Fi, screening and blocking those pesky robocalls. When you purchase your device, you have 30 days to enroll in Verizon Mobile Protect. But if you miss that deadline, we have a time period called open enrollment where you can sign up for it and get your devices protected, the devices you already purchased.
So you're offering this, if I'm not mistaken, Ashley, twice a year. You let Verizon customers opt in to the Verizon Mobile Protect service if they didn't within the 1 month after they bought their phone.
Correct. And this period ends on April 14th. As long as it is in working condition and is not already broken, you should be fine.
And how much does Verizon Mobile Protect start at?
It depends on your phone and the number of lines. So it can start for one phone at $14 to $17. Or if you have 3 devices you want to insure, it could be $50 per month. And that covers 3 to 10 devices.
Okay. And as I touched on earlier, for those heading out on spring break, you also recommend using a virtual private network or VPN. Tell us about that.
Many people might not be aware when you connect to public Wi-Fi, as you might want to do when you're in the hotel or at the airport, you run the risk of exposing your personal data, like your passwords, your financial information, to all these bad actors through that connection. So a VPN keeps your data safe by encrypting that connection. So Verizon Safe Wi-Fi, it's a VPN, it's easy to use. And in this case, it comes with Verizon Mobile Protect. So you don't need to buy anything separate. When you enroll in Verizon Mobile Protect, you actually get access to Verizon Safe Wi-Fi. It's included for free. In addition to the Safe Wi-Fi, our premium call filter app, and our premium digital secure services, you're saving a ton and you're protecting yourself, both your hardware and your digital footprint.
And if you choose to just use Verizon Safe Wi-Fi, that VPN that you provide by itself and not part of Verizon Mobile Protect, it's $3.99 a month after a 30-day trial, and that can be used for up to 10 devices. We are chatting with Ashley Colette, Communications Manager at Verizon. We are learning about Verizon Mobile Protect, which provides coverage for smartphone loss and damage, even post-warranty issues that you may have, like battery replacements and all that. And with spring break here, a lot of people are, of course, going to be using their phone for GPS directions on road trips and taking photos at the beach and all that. You may drop it in the water. So you definitely want to protect your device. And speaking of protection, Ashley, what happens in the event that your phone is stolen or lost and you do enroll in Mobile Protect?
Yeah. So if you find yourself in a very unfortunate circumstance where your device is lost or stolen and you're already enrolled in Verizon Mobile Protect, you can actually get same day delivery of a replacement device. So we have several retail locations and partner locations that can provide a phone that same day. And also what's available 24/7 with Verizon Mobile Protect is tech support. So if you find yourself in a situation where your phone's been compromised, you can always call that number and get tech support.
Okay. And finally, I wanted to just ask you about something called Verizon Smart Locator Hub. This is a free service, I believe, that helps you find lost or stolen devices by tracking it. Obviously, you don't want to try to retrieve something on your own. If something was stolen, you want to work with the authorities with it, but you can see it on a map on your phone. Is that right?
That's correct. I mean, even if it's not stolen, it could just be lost at home and you're about to miss your flight. It can locate everything from keys, bikes to pets. So the smart locator is a little tag that you would put on something physically, and it connects with an app on your phone, and using a combination of GPS and Wi-Fi based positioning, or WPS, you can use Verizon's large network coverage area to locate several lost items with pinpoint accuracy.
All right. So the little trackers you can buy at Verizon.com. The app is free. Again, it's called Smart Locator Hub. And that could be really helpful, as you said, not just if your phone is stolen, but it's slipped between the sofa cushions, you can't find it, or whatever these things are connected to, your car keys, a backpack. You can see, oh, I left it at my friend's house, right? It'll show it to you on a map.
It's super convenient in so many use case scenarios, whether you're going on vacation now or you're just trying to get out the door for work tomorrow.
Awesome. All right, Ashley, as we wrap up, the best website is simply Verizon.com, or is there one in particular for Mobile Protect?
I would recommend going to Verizon.com/ mobile protection. It's going to have all of these many benefits discussed, laid out for you there, including comparison charts to see what insurance option we offer is right for you.
All right. Verizon.com/mobile protection is where you want to go. Ashley, great to chat with you as always. Not sure if you're getting away for spring break, but hope you have a great rest of March. Thanks so much for carving out some time to chat.
Thanks for having me, and safe travels to all.
This show, Tech It Out, is powered by ASUS for those in search of incredible. Well, you can call it ASUS if you want. They don't care. ASUS is how you properly pronounce the company's name, ASUS. I didn't know that, by the way, until I started working with them formally a few years ago. But ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. And that includes its line of award-winning laptops and desktops, accessories like keyboards, mice, and monitors. They've got mobile tech like smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much more. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. As promised, coming up after this short break, we're going to chat about the JustAnswer ChatGPT Verifier. This is a tool that will vet or verify any AI-driven responses that you get while conversing with OpenAI's technology. Really cool idea. Stick with us. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out. Hang tight.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. You don't even need to be in the tech industry to know about the massive buzz surrounding generative AI programs, as they're often called, like ChatGPT. It's both cool and scary how intelligent these chatbots are. Well, intelligent for the most part. There are some limitations and accuracy issues. And so JustAnswer at JustAnswer.com, of course, that's a platform that connects people with doctors, lawyers, vets, mechanics, and other experts all in real time, has launched a new tool to help quickly verify the accuracy of results generated by ChatGPT. It's aptly named the JustAnswer ChatGPT Verifier. Joining us on the line to chat is Andy Kurtzig, CEO of JustAnswer. Hi, Andy. Thanks for your time today.
Hi, Mark. Thank you for having me on the show.
Before we talk about ChatGPT Verifier, why don't we just step back and give our listeners a JustAnswer 101, if you will?
Of course. JustAnswer is a place where you can go to talk to a real live expert 24/7. We've got doctors and lawyers and mechanics and accountants and tech support and veterinarians, experts in 700 different categories. We're also global in 196 different countries.
Congrats. So I have a question, whether it's a legal one, a medical one, or a financial one, and then I can go to JustAnswer, find a real person to talk to in real time online, and they could help you. And we can get to the pricing model in a couple of minutes, but that's the rough idea, is that you've got a real person at your fingertips, a professional who you may otherwise not have access to.
That's right. It's a real human person, and specifically a real expert. So a verified doctor or lawyer or mechanic, somebody that really knows their profession and can answer your questions really well.
So ChatGPT, obviously it's taken the tech world by storm. I don't need to tell you that. So let's first cover what ChatGPT is all about and discuss some of the things that you can do with it, just to bring everybody up to speed.
Yeah, so ChatGPT is a new technology by a company called OpenAI that is essentially a search engine on steroids. It essentially takes, let's say, the first 3 results that you might get on Google and summarizes them, and then is a really good writer and sort of explains it to you in a well-written way. Or you might ask,
right,
what's a good restaurant in New York City? And it would give you an answer based on sort of crawling the web and make its own judgment about what a good answer would be to that question. Mm-hmm. It's also interactive, so you can go back and forth in a conversational style. So the 2 key elements to it is it's conversational in style. You can ask it a question, it'll respond to you, and you can ask for more specifics or something tangential and kind of have a conversation that'll remember some of the things you've already said. And it's just a really good writer. So it'll write out a nice answer to your question, or it'll write out a poem or write you a song. do all kinds of interesting things.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I don't know if you've played around with it yourself, Andy, but I even asked it, what's something no one has asked you to do yet? And it said, well, I've been asked to write a lot of, articles and, as you said, songs or poems, speeches for a wedding, but I've never been asked to write a novel. And I said, okay, write me a novel. And it said, okay, sure, give me some parameters. So I came up with, all right, it's the 17th century in Massachusetts during the witch hunt era. There's a young girl. She may or may not be a witch. Okay, that's all I said. And then it said, okay, chapter 1. Nice. And it drafted a whole story. It was insane, like with dialogue and of course, describing the settings and there was a plot and a plot twist. It actually was scary. But when it comes to things that you may need to know, information that you need for yourself, this is where accuracy may be an issue. Like, for example, I asked it to write a bio about myself and it incorrectly stated I was a TV actor. I'm on TV as a tech expert, but I'm not an actor. So there are some accuracy issues, probably more with the slightly older version, the ChatGPT 3.5, I guess, compared to the newest version 4. But this is where JustAnswer ChatGPT Verifier comes in, I assume. Please tell us about it.
That's right. So as you probably found, and many have found, the biggest problem with ChatGPT is that it, quote unquote, hallucinates, which means that it just gives the wrong answer about a quarter to a third of the time. But worse is it gives the answer with 100% confidence. So you might say, what's 2 plus 2? It'll say, it's definitely 5, right? And it doesn't.
Yeah, it'll even gaslight you. Say, I think I know that this is true, and you don't.
Exactly.
There's some really funny instances of that. Yeah.
And so that can be okay if you just have it. Write me a poem or something where it's not going to do anybody any harm. But if you have a medical issue or your neighbor threatening to sue you or these kinds of things.
Yeah, you're working on your taxes.
Yeah. You don't want to leave that to chance. And so that's where the ChatGPT Verifier comes in. So because we have these live human experts that respond really fast, on average about 4-minute response time, 24/7, you can go to ChatGPT, you can have your conversation, you can do whatever you want to do, and you can copy paste that and have the experts on JustAnswer confirm whether it's true or not and fill it in if it's not.
We're going to continue chatting with Andy Kurtzig, Chief Executive Officer of JustAnswer. In a couple of moments from now, we're going to take a short break, but we're going to talk about costs, how much ChatGPT Verifier costs to use, and is it different than leveraging JustAnswer for other professional help when you want to be connected to an accountant, a doctor, a lawyer, a tech expert, a veterinarian, a mechanic, and what have you, all in real time. We're going to talk about that when we return. You are listening to Tech It Out. I'm your host, Mark Saltzman. Just a quick thank you to Visa, one of my esteemed partners on Tech It Out. Did you know that online shoppers are 3 times more likely to enter an unfamiliar store if it displays a Visa logo? And customers are 5 times more likely to think a merchant is reputable. This is because Visa has invested billions over the years in fraud prevention. So you don't need to think twice about shopping at retail or online with your Visa card. Nor should businesses be concerned about secure payments. To learn more about Visa's work in protecting you and your purchases, head over to visa.com/security. We'll be right back with more Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Want to follow Mark? Go. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. We're chatting with Andy Kurtzig, CEO of JustAnswer, a platform that connects people with live doctors, lawyers, vets, mechanics, and other verified and vetted experts for real-time online help. JustAnswer has helped more than 22 million customers across nearly 200 countries over the past 20 years. In fact, happy anniversary, Andy. I understand you launched in 2003. And now there's the JustAnswer ChatGPT Verifier, which we're learning about right now. Could you walk us through a sample scenario, Andy, like how it would work exactly?
Of course. So let's take that scenario where you've got a medical issue. Let's say you're worried that you have a lump on your arm and you have cancer. And so you might go to ChatGPT and ask it a question, and it will give you an answer, which may or may not be correct. And you can take that answer and you can give it to JustAnswer ChatGPT Verifier and have a real live oncologist take a look at the answer, tell you if it's true or false and where it's false. So this part is true and this part is false. You need to worry about this, but not that. A real live oncologist knows what to do, whereas ChatGPT usually doesn't.
How much does JustAnswer cost to use? And is it the same as the JustAnswer ChatGPT Verifier?
So it's a bit different. So some categories are more and other categories are less. But for ChatGPT Verify, we've got one price, which is a $5 join fee and then $55 a month. And that allows you to do this over and over again and not just one time. So you can verify multiple ChatGPT conversations, and you can even use our service more broadly. If you wanted to talk to a real live expert instead of ChatGPT, you can do that as well for that price.
What if you just had one question and you don't want to subscribe? You don't foresee you turning to ChatGPT Verifier more than once. Is that an option, or could you cancel?
Yeah, so it's really easy to cancel. So if you just want one question, just pay once. Pay the $5 and the $55, $60 total, and you ask your question, and you can have 29 to 30 more days to go if you want to ask any other questions. Otherwise, it'll just be done after that.
Mm-hmm. Is the chat with the professional over text or video call or audio?
You can do any of those. So it starts off as text, and you can switch to phone or video or
because you may want to show a doctor your arm or what have you. And how long is a typical session?
It's as long as it takes. So some of them are 10-minute conversations, and others could go on for an hour or two. And a lot of times, especially with a scenario like cancer or pregnancy questions or neighbor threatening to sue you, the kinds of questions that people ask on JustAnswer, there's not just one question. You'll have one, and that'll unveil another one.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you'll be down the rabbit hole. Yeah.
Good point. And then how much is the regular JustAnswer?
Well, it depends on the category. So, for example, lawyers charge more. The legal category costs more, and the pet category, veterinarians cost less. But it could be anywhere from about $25, $30 a month up to about $100 a month, $125 even. Okay,
fair enough. And then what about location-based accuracy? Like, let's say I live in a state or in a country where the laws may be different, or are you able to find an expert that knows where you're based and will give you relevant information?
Absolutely. So, like I said, we're in well over 100 countries. And so not only at a country level will we find an expert that matches your needs, but even within the U.S., for example, different states have different laws and tax situations, and the lawyers know what to do.
Yeah, great. Before we wrap up, Andy, what's next for you?
We're excited about ChatGPT, and we're figuring out more ways to partner with different players in the ChatGPT space. So there's not just ChatGPT, but Microsoft has got a version of it, and Google's getting ready to come out with one, and there's a bunch of other companies that have their own versions of ChatGPT. And we're looking to do partnerships with those companies because a lot of times the answer is, hey, here's the answer to your medical question, but you should really go see a doctor, or you should go see a lawyer, or you should talk to a veterinarian, and we can help them with that. And so we're partnering with those companies to be there right in real time.
All right, great. And then finally, Andy, how do we get going? I understand it's both an app and, of course, the website, justanswer.com. Do you recommend people starting at one place over another?
It's usually easier for people to start in the web, just justanswer.com, but you can also download the app on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store as well.
All right. Andy Kurtzig's been our guest. Safe travels, Andy. Thanks for chatting with us right after you've stepped off a plane. Really great to chat with you and learn about JustAnswer ChatGPT Verifier. All the best. Thanks again.
Thanks, Mark. I've enjoyed it.
Don't forget, we've got one more interview on today's Tech It Out. It's with a company called Torch, a startup that is developing something for early 2024, Torch sensors that can detect wildfires. You put these around your property, it could be on a tree or on a fence, and using cameras and sensors, it can alert you to an oncoming problem. So you've got time to grab your family and your valuables and make an exit if the fire cannot be put out on its own, of course. I mentioned earlier, if you're on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter, maybe LinkedIn, YouTube, or TikTok, I'm on all those social media platforms, and it would be great to connect with you for you to tell me what you think of Tech It Out. Maybe you've got some tech support questions for me. You've got suggestions for upcoming topics or guests. I'll spell my name in a moment, but I'm on all those platforms. I always love chatting with Tech It Out listeners, hearing what part of the country you're from, how you're tuning in, what station it is, or if it's in podcast form. All good. So it's Mark Saltzman, MarkSaltzman, Mark Saltzman. And I do write a tech tip of the day as well, often with a video. I try to show you how to get more out of your tech in plain English, much like I try to do on this program, which is break down geek speak into street speak. I'll show you how to hide apps or photos on your smartphone, how to scan a document using your smartphone and even sign it using your fingertip. If you're on an Android device like a Samsung, I'll show you how to take a photo hands-free when you're doing a selfie or in a group shot and you don't want your arm to be in the shot, like how to start a countdown by making a gesture with your hand. I share some time-saving and stress-saving shortcuts to Windows 11, or if you're a Mac user, how to link your phone for text messages and phone calls on your laptop. If you have a smart TV, I'll show you how to pair your Bluetooth earbuds or your Bluetooth-enabled hearing aids to your TV. I'll show you the latest in smart home innovations and so on. So these are all part of my tech tips of the day on social media. The one people tend to like is how to turn a regular ebook into an audiobook for free. It's a little hack that I discovered on my own, taking advantage of the iPhone and iPad's accessibility feature called Speak Screen, saving you money, saving you time, saving you aggravation. And heck, I'm the first to admit with technology, all those three things can be an issue. Before we take a break and talk with Torch, just a friendly reminder to regularly back up your important files onto external storage just in case something happens to your laptop or desktop. There are inexpensive SanDisk and Western Digital drives that plug into your computer, and you can easily schedule backups or do it manually just to be proactive in case something happens. All right, when we return on Tech It Out, we're going to catch up with Torch to hear about its wildfire protection technology. It's pretty hot. Haha. We'll be right back.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back, everyone. You're listening to Tech It Out. With all the devastation that we hear about from natural disasters, which appears to be getting worse, threats like wildfires can leave a path of destruction in its wake. And so I love when I hear about technology that can potentially save lives from these often sudden and powerful threats. And while their solution isn't available just yet, it could be up to a year away, I wanted to invite onto the show Torch, which immediately gives a warning of an approaching fire, allowing for rapid response. Joining us on the line is Vasya Tremsin. He's Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of Torch. Welcome, Vasya. Thanks for your time today.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
So, hey, it's been said good technology solves a problem. With that in mind, tell us about Torch.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. So I guess, the big problem that you just described is that wildfires continue to destroy our environment. They continue to take lives. They continue to cost, billions of dollars in damage every year. And they literally get worse every single year. And there's more and more areas around the world that are becoming at high risk of wildfire. And as you know, every building, every house basically around the world is now equipped with some kind of a smoke alarm, some kind of a smoke detector. And that's why we solved the problem of, fires burning down entire cities or entire communities within, kind of an urban environment. However, this concept has not been taken at all to the outdoors. And there's basically nothing that detects fires early enough before they become big wildfires. So that's the problem that we're solving at Torch. It's taking the concept of the indoor smoke alarm and taking it outdoors.
Love that. So I was going to ask you about that, Vasya, how the technology works. When I was looking at a YouTube video, I thought I saw like a little camera on the device that is outside, or is it more sensors that detect smoke or heat?
Great question. Yeah, so we definitely have a variety of different sensors and cameras on each device. So it's equipped with infrared cameras. Basically, they are detecting the heat signal of the surrounding area, and they're able to actually analyze the heat signal dynamically and see how it's changing, which is very important for us to analyze if it's a flame or it's a potential potential other source of heat. Then we have visible cameras that have specific filters on them that are able to actually filter out the flames from all other environment that surrounds the flames. So that is able to basically, again, detect a fire really confidently and separate it from any false positives. And then on top of those two different visible variables, we also have 3 different gas sensors that continuously monitor 3 different gases. Those measurements are adjusted to the current temperature and humidity in real time. So everything is dynamically analyzed. All this information is sent directly to the user. Using all of these different variables, we're able to have a really confident approach that really confidently detects fires early enough.
So again, to address things like false positives, I know last year in LA, I think it hit 103, 104 degrees Fahrenheit. So even if it's super hot out, it's not going to think it's a flame.
Yeah, it definitely won't. Our sensors are able to know where the sun is moving relatively to the day because, since the sensors are static once you install them,
right,
we can actually analyze the environment around. So the algorithm is a lot smarter than just looking at the heat signal. And we're able to, again, using all these different variables, have a confident result and also give you a risk score, which will go up as the sensors become more confident or, it's a little bit lower as they are less confident in a fire, but it will warn you in any case.
Okay, cool. And what's the detection coverage like? Like how many monitors do you need, or are these all the same models, or do you have some models that can see farther, that kind of thing?
Yeah, so the sensors themselves, they connect to each other in a mesh network. So you can put them up to several miles apart and they will still connect to each other. However, in terms of, how far is the recommended distance for you to put them at is about 1 per 10 acres. And that's the coverage that we recommend for you to be able to detect a fire that's the size of a car or smaller. So that's what we consider something that is early detection, is something that's smaller than the size of a car. If you have really heavy vegetation on your property, you would also put them a little more frequently. So we actually have a software that will tell you where on your property you should put them and the most optimal ways to really space them out on your property to have the most confident detection you can possibly have.
Okay, cool. And are they omnidirectional or do they only work in the direction they're facing? And how are they powered? I'm assuming that it needs either a built-in battery or a solar panel or electricity.
Great questions right here. So these sensors have a 330-degree view. So basically they see all around them.
Cool.
That last 30 degrees is basically what's covered by the pole or the tree that they are attached to anyway. So that doesn't really matter, but they look completely around the entire area that they're facing. In terms of the power, of course, that's a very important aspect of these sensors. We actually did a lot of work and a lot of research to really minimize the power usage. And they are solar powered. They don't require any power grid. They don't require any outside power at all. And basically, the solar panel is on top of the sensor. If you live in a really shady area, or if you have, some kind of really heavy, vegetation that you need to put the sensor below, and there's a lot of shade and just not enough sunlight for that solar panel, we also have an accessory solar panel you can add, and then you can attach that to the back of the sensor as well. So basically, they run completely independently, and they don't require not only power, but they also don't require any type of Wi-Fi connection or satellite connection as well.
If it's a mesh network and it doesn't require satellite or Wi-Fi, how do they all talk to one another?
So the way that they work is they connect to each other via radio waves, and then all of those sensors kind of pass along information and data to each other in this network. And then that comes back to gateway, which you plug in your home. You just plug it to an outlet on the wall.
And then that's Wi-Fi at that point.
And then, the gateway is Wi-Fi enabled, and that will pass information directly to the app.
Cool. Yep. Awesome. We're chatting with Vasya Tremsin. He's Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of Torch. This is a company that has solutions that give you a warning of an approaching fire. Wildfires are an increasingly problematic reality today. I know your product isn't available just yet. We'll talk about Torch availability shortly, but how do these differ from other early stage outdoor fire protection technologies?
Yeah. So if you look at, other wildfire detection technologies, most of them are a really centralized approach. So they are some kind of really expensive infrared camera that is looking around a large area and trying to detect fires that way, or they are some kind of a satellite imaging approach. And both of those, we believe just don't really work because they don't detect fires early enough. And again, our whole idea is detecting them early before they become wildfires. And so since we're able to detect a fire that's smaller than the size of a car,
right,
that requires a more local distributed approach.
We're going to hear about some other differentiating features between Torch and other systems out there when we return on Tech It Out, our last segment for this weekend's program. So stick with us. We'll be right back.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
We're chatting with Vasya Tremsin, Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of Torch. It's a startup that is working on, for early 2024, torch sensors, or a torch system that involves outdoor sensors and cameras that could give you a warning of an approaching fire. Just before the break, Vasya, I was asking you about other distributed approaches and what makes torch so unique. You started to answer, but please continue.
Yeah, so if you look at the other kind of distributed approaches that have been attempted before, most of them, they focus on only one variable. For example, a lot of them focus on just the gas measurement. And again, that's a really big issue right there, because if you have, for example, wind blowing away from the sensor and there's a fire, then it will completely ignore the fire because the gas will just be blowing away. You won't be able to detect the fire again until it's way too late. So we pack a lot of different sensors into each of our devices that are able to use different variables, both line of sight and non-line of sight. And we also keep it extremely affordable for any use cases, for any users to be able to just put it on their property, put it in their small business, put it on their field, or for utility companies as well.
Dumb question, but if you are notified on an app, which I would love to ask you what the app is like, that there is a looming wildfire threat, obviously it's for you and your family to get out and be safe and maybe grab some things in your home that are irreplaceable. But other than that, there's nothing really you can do unless you have a motorhome and you can drive away. But for most people, it just tells you, right? So it's about human safety more than property protection.
So a really big aspect here is it doesn't just tell you of a coming wildfire, but it also tells you of a fire happening really early on. So what you can do if you live in the property is literally just drive out the property and put it out with a hose.
Oh, I see. Okay,
call a fire department. Yeah, so it's actually a really important aspect here is the early detection. It's not just about a fire coming to you. It's about a fire happening early on and you being able to be in control of putting it out or call the authorities.
I was going to say, if you're able to put it out, because if it's obviously a wildfire, that's probably a whole other thing. And what is that app like? Talk to us about the experience. And overall, speaking of experience, what the feedback has been so far with Torch. I know it's not out yet, but you do have some people testing it.
So we really focused on developing a simple user experience for our users that are using the app. So basically it has a few main screens. The first one just shows the different properties that you own or different properties of your relatives or different properties that you might be interested in. And then, those properties have their data. What is the current state? Are they safe? Are there any fires detected at neighboring properties or neighboring communities? If there's a fire detected there, you can opt in and share your information from your sensors, and then you will receive information from other sensors within the community. So our idea is to put these sensors everywhere so that every person, knows where the fires are happening.
Yeah, it's like a neighborhood watch for fire. That's great. How much does Torch cost? I think it's only offered as a pre-order for now, but how much are we talking about here and when will they come out?
Yep. So each Torch device is $299 and it is available for pre-order right now at torchsensors.com.
When will it be available?
So they will be available to ship in the first quarter of 2024.
Okay. Pre-orders at torchsensors.com. Vasya, thanks so much for carving out some time to chat. Sounds like promising technology. Thank you for being on the program.
Yep. Thank you as well.
Hey, we have some great guests lined up for next week already. We're going to chat about a book called The Organ Grinder Factor. It's about a 3D printer that can create organs, 3D organs for humans. We'll chat with Spotify about its audiobook catalog. The baseball video game MLB The Show 23 is now available for PS4, PlayStation 5, and other consoles. So we'll chat with Sony Interactive Entertainment about that, Ramon Russell. And then finally, Halo Car. These are vehicles in Las Vegas that you can order from your phone. It'll drive to you with no human driver. You'll use it as a vehicle for as long as you need it for. And when you're done, it'll drive to the next customer. So we're going to learn about that and a lot more. This is Tech It Out. I hope you enjoyed this week's program. It is powered by ASUS for those in search of incredible. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. And that includes its line of award-winning laptops like its Expert Books, its Vivo Books, Zen Books, like what I'm using to record this show right now. There's Studio Books, and of course their gaming lineup called ROG, or Republic of Gamers. No shortage of awesome computers and accessories from ASUS. Regardless of your needs and budget, I'm proud to call them the title sponsor on Tech It Out, as well as amazing brands like Visa and Western Digital. And one last time, I'll plug my social media handles if you want to reach out and say hi. I absolutely love chatting with Tech It Out listeners. I've been hearing from you all across the country, even some overseas listeners who tune into the podcast version. Once again, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and TikTok. It's Mark Saltzman, MarcSaltzman. I'm not going to hit you up for Patreon or any of that stuff. I do listen to a lot of podcasts. Thankfully, my sponsors take care of me and they fund the show. I don't need listeners to do that, but a review goes a long way. Clicking a star rating on your favorite podcast platform or telling a friend about it, or if an interview resonated with you during this show, that means a lot if you share that on social media and the guest loves it too. So I do appreciate anything like that. All right, no hard sell here. Thank you for tuning in to Tech It Out this week. Have a fantastic rest of your day, a healthy week ahead, and I look forward to catching up with you next weekend for another episode of Tech It Out. Bye-bye for now.